A new bipartisan stimulus proposal is going to be introduced today, Tuesday, December 1st. We have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. But hey, if you're new here, my name is Matt. Welcome to the channel, and please be sure you're subscribed by hitting that button down below. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks so much for coming back and allowing me to be your daily advocate. So, like I said, we have a lot to talk about. We actually have some movement on stimulus negotiations, which is great because as we know, since the election, there hasn't been much going on other than some back and forth banter between the two parties. So we're finally getting this proposal today. What it is, it's a bipartisan stimulus proposal put together by a group of senators. So this is great. They've been working behind the scenes to put together this proposal, and they're going to formally introduce it today. So this is great because, as we know, we are running out of time very quickly to get something done before the end of the year, especially before Congress goes on their next recess. So here's what we can expect out of the proposal. It has a price tag of $908 billion. So that's actually good. That's up from the skinny bill proposal that Mitch McConnell has been talking about with that $500 billion price tag. However, it is substantially less than the $2.2 to $2.4 trillion proposal that Nancy Pelosi has been pounding the table about for many, many months now. So here's what we can can say about this. Many people familiar with this proposal are saying it is a fluid proposal and it's subject to change. So my point with that is this $908 billion, it's the initial proposal. We can build on that or we can take away. This is just the foundation. Just like the skinny bill that we talked about so many times before, it's acting as a foundation, just like building a house. You put the foundation down and then you can build appropriately on top of that. So we're going to treat this as the same, and they've recognized this is fluid. It is subject to change, but this is a starting point. It's a point where we can come together and start negotiating from here, but it at least builds a simple foundation. So this is great. At the same time, Chuck Schumer was out and saying, he said that both sides must compromise and both sides must give. In other words, both sides, you guys need to come together and actually do something. Republicans, you guys need to come up. Democrats, you guys need to come down. You guys need to meet somewhere in the middle is basically what Chuck Schumer is saying. At the same time, Mitch McConnell was out and he said there is no reason that Congress cannot pass a major stimulus relief bill before the end of the year. He went on to say, people need help and they need it now. Yeah. I feel like that is so obvious. Yeah, the people need help and we need it now. Actually, we needed it like 4 months ago at a minimum. Also, we have a group of economists, as I've been saying for so many weeks now. We've had so many economists coming out saying that the economy could be absolutely devastated along with the American people if we do not get additional stimulus and if we do not get it quickly. In other words, we need it now and we need it big, we need it fast, we need to reach many, many people as so many people are struggling. This is basically just echoing what Mitch McConnell is saying, but many of these economists have been saying this over many weeks now. So what is in this stimulus proposal? That's what everybody wants to know. What's included? Who is it going to reach? What about the stimulus checks? Well, let's talk about it. So it's going to include this is what's expected to be in this proposal. Like I said, this proposal will actually be formally released later this afternoon on here Tuesday, December 1st. So I'll continue watching that and see what we got from it a little bit later. But here's what's expected to be within it. Extension of unemployment benefits, the federal unemployment benefits, at a rate of $300 per week. Remember, it previously was $600. Well, they're coming back with $300 per week. It's expected to have $240 billion of state and local government funding. It's expected to have $300 billion of small business aid in the form of probably PPP, another round of that. Of course, there's other provisions in there, but let's talk about stimulus checks. Before we panic, let's just think about this for just a second. This proposal does not include $1,200 stimulus checks. However, like I said, don't panic yet. Like I said earlier in the video, this is a starting point. This is the foundation. They've made it very clear. This is fluid and it's subject to change. What do we know about the $1,200 stimulus checks? We do know that it has widespread support from Democrats, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, basically the entire Democratic Party. It has support from President Trump. He's made it very clear multiple times that we need additional stimulus, and he supports stimulus checks for the people. At the same time, Mitch McConnell, in his statement, people need help and they need it now. So again, Mitch McConnell has also openly supported stimulus checks. At the same time, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin, he has also supported this. So there are many, many people supporting stimulus checks. The reason that they did not include stimulus checks in this proposal is to drop the initial price tag, at face value. So like I said, $908 billion is what we expect it to come in at. It does not include those stimulus checks. We anticipate the stimulus checks have a price tag of about $300 billion. Well, that would put it at about $1.2 trillion if we added those in there. So again, completely reasonable in my opinion. I feel like 1.2, it's kind of right in the middle, close to what both sides are wanting to go with. The $500 billion from Mitch and the 2.2 to 2.4 from Nancy. 1.2 trillion, it's pretty close to middle. It's not perfect, but it's pretty dang close. So my point is, before we panic and say they're not looking out for us, they're not going to add them, just remember, it can still be added. With all the people supporting stimulus checks, they could still be adding on to this, as this is the foundation, this is the initial proposal. They may come back and say, hey, let's cut something else here, but at the same time, let's add in the $1,200 stimulus checks. Or maybe they just add it, and maybe they just push it through as it currently is, and they forget the stimulus checks. We don't know. However, the simple fact that they are coming out and they are proposing this next proposal is what is key, because it's bringing the parties back together, back to the negotiating table to talk about stimulus. So we'll continue watching this. I'm going to watch this later this afternoon after they've introduced this and see what it includes and see how the parties react to this, even though, they basically have the framework of this thing. But it'll be interesting to see the commentary out of both parties after this, to see if Nancy sticks to what she's been saying this whole time, which is it's all or nothing, or if Mitch McConnell comes back and says, oh no, it's way too much. We just don't know quite yet. However, I will continue to keep you informed. This is good. Even though it hasn't been acted upon, nothing's passed yet, this is good because it's a starting point. We have to remember, this is a starting point. Hey, just really quickly, I just wanted to mention thank you so much to all of you who have been leaving such nice and thoughtful comments on that video that Corey and I released just the other day. It's been amazing reading through the comments. We're trying to respond to as many as possible, but as you've seen, there's literally like 1,400 comments on that video, so we're really trying to work through it. But thank you so much to all of you. It's been amazing. I wanted to mention this in the video, but I wanted to get right into the content of the video right away because I know all of you are looking forward to what's going on with stimulus. But either way, thank you once again to all of you. It's been so amazing reading through the comments, and we're so excited. So thank you once again. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you in a few hours. Thanks.